होमज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरे प्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थे सुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदताम् ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, chapter 26, verse number 2. So in this chapter there is a description how the Brajvasis, they approached Nanda Maharaj because they became doubtful after seeing the Govardhan lifting by Krishna, that is he really a human being or is he God? So this conflict came in their mind because lifting Govardhans doesn't seem like any human act. Although Krishna has done such activities before also, but first of all of them did not witness this. He was in the forest killing some demon, or even if Putana was killed in the Braja, not everybody was present at that time. So some will see, others will hear, and then they will propagate that this is because Narayana is protecting him or he has qualities like Narayana. So somehow they were able to adjust their mind, not think of him as supreme person or God. But now for 7 days everybody witnessed, because if you see the description and how he protected, it is quite amazing. It's like you see in the movies how they can make some big scene, right? So therefore they are doubtful that on one side they see that he is behaving just like any other human being. Other side he has these actions or acts which are not ordinary. So who is he actually? So they went to Nanda Maharaj to ask this directly to him, because he is the father, so he should know. And the doubt also came because when Krishna was born, as we know that his ceremony in the beginning were kept very secret. Gargacharya came, his name giving ceremony was done in secret, not in public. Now if he is the head of the cowherd people and his son is born, that also after a long time, he should have thrown a big feast and big invitation, and ceremony, but he did not do that. That is because he did not want this news to reach Kamsa. So this also brought a doubt in their mind that maybe he is not born to him, that's why this person has just come from somewhere. So therefore they asked this. So this is also to show that Vrajavasis, their love, not only of Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, but of all the Vrajavasis, their love for Krishna is so intense that even when he performs these superhuman acts, they do not start worshipping him like God. And sometimes the thought comes, but then it goes away. So this is also to show how their love is in Madhurya and not in Aishwarya. It is not mixed with Aishwarya Bhav. Although Krishna does manifest his Aishwarya, his majesty, and manifesting it for 7 days is quite a lot. So to avoid that is not easy. But still it did not subdue their Madhurya Bhav or their feeling towards Krishna as object of their affection, whether it is parental or friendly or any other, as a human being. So that is another thing which is being shown here. Unlike if we see, say, Arjuna seeing the universal form, so he saw it only for a short time, immediately his mood changed. He was not treating Krishna like his friend anymore. He started praying to him. So we don't see Vrajavasis reciting any stuti like that to Krishna. So in this verse they say, Balkasya adetani karmani ati adbhutani vai katham arvhati asau janma grameshu atma jugupshitam. So they said that these are very extraordinary activities which this boy has done. So how is it possible that somebody like him has taken birth in us, among us, who are Gramya, who are just ordinary village people? We are not some great sages, Brahmanas, or royal people, Kshatriyas. So generally we see that the avataras are happening among the sages or among the royal people. So how is that he has been born, which seems to be like denigrating himself, bringing himself down in status? So this is his doubt. Ati adbhutani iti yato nayam prakrito balaka kintu ishvara eveti chedata katham. So there are two things which are mentioned in this sloka. In the previous commentary also we read That one side they see that he has ati adbhutani karmani. This means extraordinary or superhuman activities which he performs. But and then we see that he is also born among us, acts like us, eats with us, talks to us, plays with us. At that time we don't see anything extraordinary. He is lovely and we all love him. There is no doubt about that. But we don't see him that he is something divine, godly like that. So this is their doubt. So asau iti paroksha nirdeshena tada asau vanam gata. So the word asau means, asau is used somebody who is not nearby. Others means that away. Swadsastu viprakrishtam. So means at that time Krishna was not present when they came to talk to Nanda Maharaj. He had gone to the forest. So parokshatva eva rasapatte. So this kind of rasa is also relished when the person is not personally present. Atma jugupsitam iti atmano jugupsayam nikrishto api na pravartate kimut sarva prakrishta ishvara iti bhava. So he says that no one likes to denigrate or depreciate one's value. So how is that he has done it? He seems to be the Supreme Ishvara, so why should he be born among us? And now they are going to describe the various activities which he has performed. Basically it's like a summary of Krishna's childhood superhuman activities. Yasaptahay no balah karena ekena līlaya katham bibhrad girivaram pushkaram gajradiva. So this boy who is only 7 years old, how is that with one hand he lifted Govardhan, just like an elephant may lift a lotus flower. So sometimes elephants go to the lake, there is a lotus, they may uproot one flower with their trunk. So it doesn't take any effort on the part of elephant to do that. So he lifted Govardhan just like that, because he just touched it and Govardhan came up. So this is amazing. So therefore he says, Yadi cha na ishvaraha tarihi kathame tani karmani sambhaveyu ityahu dvadasbhi. So in 12 verses it is being described here that if he is not an Ishvara, then how is that he performed such activities? Only an Ishvara can do something like this. So they will give the summary of his activities. So yaiti bibhrad sthitaha iti shesha. So katham bibhrad girivaram. So Vibhrad means that he was stable in one place. After lifting also, he just stood in one place for 7 days. So that's a difficult thing, even just to stay without anything in one position. That's difficult. If you are in Samadhi, then only you can do. Then you don't move. But he was not in that kind of samadhi. He was talking, he was smiling, he was looking at everybody. Samadhi is not like that. Samadhi is, one has no external awareness. So he says, how is this possible? So Pushkaram Padmam, Pushkar means the lotus. Katham ityasya vibhakti viparinamena yat sabdasya cha grim shlokeshu anuvrittir geya. So now this Katham, how is that he did this? This will be applied in all the slokas which are coming. It is like the Adhikar Sutra we have in Sutra system. So you have Adhikar Sutra, flows down. So this Katham will go Katham. How is that he did? One who is like this. Yes, aptahai no bala means one who is this. So yat sabdasya cha agrim slokeshu anuvrittir gaya. So tokena amilit akshena putnaya mahojasaha pitah stana saha prani kale ne vavayastano. So now he is talking about Putana. That how is that same Katham has to apply? How is that he was just a small baby? So and his eyes were closed. Tokena amilita akshena Putanaya mahausa pitastana sahaprana. So Putana was supremely powerful and he drank her breast along with the life air. So kale naiva vayastana. Just like time takes away the life from the body or youth, etc. Vayas tano. Tano means body, vaya means youth. So tokena yena balena ishan mudrita akshena alakshamanatve drishtanta. So tokena means by baby, and even his eyes were not closed, open. So he killed her by drinking the breast milk. So he said, just like time takes away one's youth and age, this time is not visible to us, but it's taking away our lifespan, our youth. Now you may feel young, but slowly it is drinking and you're getting older. So like that Krishna also. So closed eye means not seeing. So time also we don't see him doing it. So like that he did it. And hinvatovadha shayanasya mashyasya charnavudak anopati viparyastam ruta prapadahatam. And he was hanging under the cart when he was just 3 months old, and he started crying and he kicked the cart with his foot, kicking it up, and then the cart was broken and everything spread around, viparyastam. So how did this happen? Small baby. How that he was able to... Yes.
Looks like you missed the tika of second verse.
There is a big echo. Echo.
Second verse there was a tika.
Yeah.
No, I did it.
So you missed that.
What did I miss?
Swasam jugupsitam anunarupam janma arati.
Maybe I don't have it here. I only have Atma Jugupsitam iti Atmano Jugupsayam Nikristopi na pravartate. Kimut Sarprakrishta Ishvara iti bhava. That's all I have. I don't have what you are saying. Maybe it's missing in this one.
Okay, thank you.
So Anaso Adha Shranasa. Anasa means the cart. So he was sleeping under that. And Masyasya Mastraya Vayasa. So Masya here means 3 months. He was 3 months old. Masad Vayasi Yat Khayo iti Yat. So from the word Masa, Yat and Khaya Pratyar applied. That's why it becomes Masya. So Charnau Udak. Udak here means up. Udak also means water. So here it does not mean water. It refers to up. Hinvataha Chalvata. Chalata. Hinu Dhatu Gatu Arthak. So while moving his feet, Yasya prapadena padagrena ahatam anaha shakatam viparyastam satkatham patat. So he basically touched his toe to the cart, and then the cart was thrown off. Everything broke down. Here and there, all the things. Remember, we read that all the buckets and ropes and milk and everything spread. So, how did this happen? Ek hayana asino hriyamano vihayasa datenaya strana vartam mahan kantha grahaturam. And when he was just 1 year old, then he was stolen away by Trinavarta. Right? He came and he uplifted him. So Datyena Trinavartam. So he hung on to his neck, and then he started increasing his weight. And then he started feeling choked, fell down. So Krishna fell on top of him and he died, and Krishna was just playing. So he says, how is this that this happened? So yo datyena hiryamana. So katham has to come from there and everyone. How is this that he could do this? So yo datyena hiryamana, one who he was taken away or kidnapped by the Datya. Tam trinavartam datyam katham ahat. So how did he kill him? This is unbelievable. And kvachid हैंगवस्तन्ये मात्रा बद्ध उलूखले गच्छन अर्जुनयोर मध्ये बाहुभ्याम तावपातयत. And then he has stolen butter, hangavina. So hangava is called 1 day old butter. The fresh one is called navnita. So when he has broken the pot, and after breaking the pot, he went inside and he was stealing the butter and distributing it to the monkeys. Story we read, chapter 8. And then the mother bound him. It was in chapter 9. And then he walked around with that mortar tied to his belly. And then he went through these 2 trees, tall Arjuna trees, and then the trees fell down. So is it possible that one boy, small boy, can uproot the trees? It's not possible. So how this happened? So hangavastanye navnita chaurye, when he was stealing the butter, Bahubhyam Gachan Ringanityartha. So he was moving on his hands. He was crawling. He was not even walking. So he was just crawling on his knees and hands, and then pulled and uprooted the trees. So how is that happen? And then Vane Sanchariyan Vatsan Saramo Balakair Vritaha Hantu Kamam Bakam Dorbhyam Mukto Arim Apatayat. And when he was standing the cows in the forest, not cows but just the calves, he has not been promoted yet for the cows. He was first Vatspal, then he became Gopal. So he was standing the calves along with Balaram, Saramo, and surrounded by his friends. Then Bakasura came to kill him, Hantu Kamam Bakam. So Krishna caught him. He was in the form of a big crane. So he caught his beak and tore him apart in 2 pieces. So how is that he could do this? So Dorbhyam Dhritva Mukta Mukham Arabhya Katham Pate. So holding the beak with his arms, and then just tore him. So how is that possible? And vatsesu vatsa-rupena pravishantam jighamsaya hatva na pati yattena kapithani cha-līlaya. Then Vatsasura, so he came and he joined the calves, right? Took the form of a calf and joined the calves of Krishna. So then Krishna went around playing with him and caught him by the tail and rotated him and threw him on the kapitha tree and killed him. And then, so there is no commentary on this. Hatva rasab daiteyam tadbandhunsya balanvitah chakre talvanam kshemam paripakva phalanvitam pralambam ghatayitvagram balena balsalina amochiyad vrajpashun gopanscha aranyavanhita. The next one is killing of the Dhenukasura. So Rasab means an ass. So this Dateya, this Asura who was living in the form of a donkey, so he was in Talvriksha, Talvan. So Balram and he went and Balram caught hold of the leg of this Dhenukasura and threw him up in the air, and Krishna also. So then they ate the fruits. And then there is story of Pralamba. Pralambasura also came and they were playing. So he was on the side of, whose side? He was on the side of Krishna, and then they got defeated. So he took Balram on his shoulder and then he ran away. Remember that? So then Balram gave him a big box on his head and he died. So he says Pralambam ghatitvagram. So here one may say, well, you are talking about Krishna, now why Balram is coming in the picture? So he says ghatitva. This is the nich pratyaya. He made Balram kill him. Means it is Krishna who gave him the power to kill Dhenukas, this Pralambasura. So Balena Balasalina. So Balena Ghatiyatva made Balram kill. Balram, who is Balshali, who is powerful. And Amochayad Vraj Pashun Gopanscha Aranyavanhita. And then there was forest fire 2 times. So one time was after the Nag, when Kalya snake was subdued by Krishna. That night they did not reach Vraja because it was too late. They slept here. Davanal Kund is here nearby. And then there was a forest fire. So they all got caught. So Krishna said, just close your eyes. And then he drank the fire. Another time was in Tusika, this Ishika one. So all the cows, they got inside the fire. So twice it happened. Rasabdatayam dhenukam. Rasabdataya here is Dhenukasura. Balanvita iti tatrapi krishnasya pradhanyam vivakshitam. So here balena, balsalina, and balanvita along with Balram. So in this, although the killing of Dhenukasura and Pralambasura is done by Balram, but they are now speaking of Krishna, that as if Krishna is the main hero. And then Ashi Vishtama Ahindram Damitva Vimadam Hradat Prasaya Udvasya Yamunam Chakresau Nirvishodakam. So we had this snake, Kaliya snake, who had Ashivistama. So Ashivistama means the most powerful poison, the most dangerous poison he had. So he subdued him, he did not kill him. Damitva means controlled him and made him free from the pride. He removed his pride because he was very proud, thinking, who can come near me? So Vimadam Hradat, and then forcibly kicked him out from the lake. That you go out of this Yamuna and go to your Ramanak Dvipa. So Chakrayasau Nirvishodakam, and in this way he made the Yamuna Hrada free from the poison. So Asi Vistama Ati Krura Vishascha. So very dangerous poison. Asau Ahindrascha iti tam vimadam yatha syat tatha damitva. So he controlled him and made him humble. So ultimately Kaliya snake, and they surrendered to him. So this is basically their summary of Krishna's superhuman acts. Because now the doubt was that how is that he looks like a human being but he is performing activities as if he is Ishvara. But this is another thing which they say that we are unable to understand. He says, Dustejascha anurago asmin sarvesham no vrajaukasham nanda te tanye asmasu tasya atpattikam katham. So he says, but we naturally have anurag for this boy, your son, O Nanda Maharaj. Nanda te tane. So we just love him. Anurag here means not just normal, but that rag anurag. So we have anurag for him. And this anurag is natural. It is not that he is doing these superhuman acts, therefore we love him. No. It's just natural. Whether he does them or does not do them, we just love him. So it is to show that we are not having Aishwarya Bhav towards him even after seeing all these activities. And he also loves us. So he says, Tasya api asmasu. Not only that we love him, he also loves us. And this is Atpattika. This is not created. Means it is unconditional. Atpattika here, it signifies that it is not based on any conditioning. Because if somebody is doing good work, welfare, then you like that person. Somebody is helping you, then you like that person. So it is why you like, because he is doing good to you. If he stops doing good, you won't like him. But it says this is not the situation with him. We just naturally, means we cannot avoid it. So this is the characteristic of Brajvasis, this natural love, unconditional love. It is not because they want something from him or because he is doing something to them, that's why they love him. That's not the case. So, evam asya ishwaratve giri dharanadaya etannisht dharma eva hetavo darshita. So, in this way they have shown the reason why he should be accepted as Ishvara. That he lifted Govardhan, he killed Putna and then Saktasura, all this list of people. So this certainly establishes him as Bhagavan or Ishvara. Because this characteristics are not something coming from outside. He has them. Asmad Adi Sarva Vrajvasi Nishthascha Eko Dharmo Drishyataam Itya. So first they are describing his character, that this is the type of character or quality he has. But he says at the same time we also have one quality in relation to him, and that is, this is Autpattika Anurag, the natural Anurag for him. And this does not match, because we should simply surrender to him like Ishvara and glorify him, but we don't get that feeling. And therefore he says this is Dustarja. This Anurag is, it cannot be given up. Means we cannot suddenly start worshipping him. That is the meaning of Dustarja. It will not change because he is doing some Aishwarya activities. Te tanaye tabeva tanaye tanayo nasmakam iti samyak vicharite satyapiti bhava. And then somebody can say, well, you love him because he is your child. If somebody is your baby, then you have a natural liking for that baby. It's not because of some condition, this or that. He is born to you. He is your daughter or son. So you naturally have affection for that. So he says, no, it is your son. Nanda te tanaye. That Nanda Maharaj, it is your son. So, and we have natural affection for him. Means we don't have affection like this to our own sons. We should be having affection like this in our own sons. And this was already shown in Brahma-Mohan-Līlā, that their love for Krishna is more than their own sons. And even the affection to their own sons is not independent of affection to Krishna. That's what we discussed there. Whatever liking they have, it is not independent of Krishna's love. If they like their cows, their house, their wife, their children, because they see it as in relationship with Krishna. That is what Braj Bhakti is. So therefore they say that he is your son, not our. And we know it. We are not in illusion. We know very well that he is your son. Samyak vicharate sati. But still we cannot give up. Dustyaja. न केवलम अस्माकं वात्सल्य भाववताम एव गोपानाम अपितु सर्वेषां बालादीनाम अपि सख्यादि भाववताम स्त्री पुंसाम अपि जात्यंतराणाम अपि वनौकसाम मृग पक्षियादीनाम अपि अनुराग प्रतिक्षणम नवनवायमान वर्धमान प्रीति. So first he says that this love is there for him. And this love is not only in us who think of him like our own child, in relationship with you, because you are of our age, you are like our brother, so he is like our son. But even others who do not have Vatsalya Bhava, their friends, sakhas, their ladies, their juniors, their seniors, everybody loves him. And not only Vrajvasis, means those who live in Vraja, but those who are Vanvasis, those who are living in the forest, all these Pulindis and Sabraj, they also love him. And not only human beings, even birds, animals, plants, trees, Pasu Pakshi Adi, everybody loves him. And not only that they love, but their love is always increasing. So Navnavayamana, Vardhamana. So the Preeti is always increasing. So how is this? Anurag Shabdasya Tatha Bhutarthkatvat Natu Preeti Matram. So he says the word Anuraga here is to be taken in the sense of that Anuraga, where we have Bhav, Prema, and then Pranaya, etc. So it is not just normal priti, but very advanced or high level rag, anurag, bhav, anubhav. So that anurag is there. Kincha dustaja atpattikatvat, and it cannot be given up because it is natural. So natural means it is their very existence. Just like sugar is sweet, so sweetness is the natural quality of sugar. It cannot be given up. You cannot remove sweetness from the sugar. If you do that, then it's no more sugar. It will get destroyed. So that's what it means, atpattika. So similarly, our love for him is atpattika. It cannot be changed, it cannot be removed. It is, that's how we are. So samprati ishvaratva lakshane drishte api tyaktum ashakya. And now we have seen all these characteristics of Ishvara in him. Because he is not just normal child. He has depicted characteristics of God in himself. But still we cannot give up loving him just like our own boy, cowherd boy. Satyam tarhi parmatma evayam nishchiyatam iti chet tatrahu asmasu sarveshu vrajvasisu vanoksu cha tasyapi anuraga ukta lakshana katham sambhavet. So then Nand Maharaj says that okay, why don't we just consider him as Paramatma? If this is what you think, that he has got all these qualities of Ishvara, so then think of him as Paramatma, that he is just Paramatma. So he says, well, that also is not possible. We cannot think of him as Paramatma. Why is that? So they give reason for that. He said the reason is that he also has anurag for us. Now Paramatma doesn't care for anybody. Paramatma doesn't love anyone. Paramatma does not know what is love. That's the problem with Paramatma. So he says, Tasya Atma Ramatvena Sarva Audasinyat. So Paramatma is complete in himself. That's why he is called Paramatma. So he is Atma Rama, he is blissful, he is happy with his own bliss, and therefore he is absolutely indifferent. So he does not run around making friendship with people. Although he says, I am friend of everybody, right? Suhrda sarvbhutanam hirdesu arjun tishtati. Right? But he don't think of him as a friend like this, as if he is going to say, come please have lunch with me. Nothing like that. He just as his friend, like he is looking at you, that's all. But he doesn't want anything from you, and he is not going to give you anything. He just stays there. So he says, Audasinyat. Sansarikeshu atpatikya shaktir na ghatte. He says, Asmashu sansarikeshu atpatikya ashaktir na ghatte. So, if he is Paramatma, then how is that he is very much in love with us, who are materialistic people, who are people of this samsara? Even if he loves, he should love people of Vaikuntha. Paramatma does not love people of this material world. If he has relationship, it's not that Paramatma doesn't have relationship. He has relationship with his own associates. But as far as people of the material world are concerned, he is udasin. He is absolutely indifferent. So then we cannot think that he is Paramatma. And we cannot think that he is a human being. So who is he? Is he Paramatma? No. Is he a human being? No. Is he Ishvara? No. So what is he? So this is the dilemma they have. Kwasap? Yes.
Utpatti normally means something which is produced. But here utpattika is used. So that has a different meaning then?
Yeah, it's not Utpattika, Autpattika.
Utpattika is made from utpatti, right?
Yeah.
So it will probably carry the same meaning then in that sense.
Yeah, Autpattika means natural.
And utpatti or utpatti doesn't mean natural then.
No,
If you remove the
Utpatti means to be born, to appear.
yeah.
But this word Autpattika is always used in the sense of Swabhav. Autpattika actually means Swabhav.
And it still comes from utpatti word, right?
And the word comes from that on.
Okay.
But the meaning of the word Autpattika, wherever you see this, the meaning will be Swabhavik.
Okay. Swabhavik. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So means it is not something which has been produced, although the words seems like that. Atpattika would mean something which is produced. So it's like, why this meaning has Swabhav in the sense means something which is born with it. In that sense. I mean, the connotation is just the opposite of what we think of. But why this sense comes to this words Atpattika as Swabhavik means when something comes into existence, then it has its natural qualities. So those qualities will be called as Atpattika, means they are from its very birth. Means they are born like that. Means just like if there is a fish, so fish can swim naturally. Right? So means by its very birth it has the ability to swim. So its ability to swim will be called as Autpattika. Means
so is there something to do with the ka pratyaya then, which is applied there?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Tadvit Pratyaya.
Tadvit ka pratyaya is giving this meaning. Okay.
But I am saying why this meaning sense comes means something which is by very birth, not later on added. It's like a bird. It can naturally fly. So that is its Swabhava. Swabhava means it's there with him with the very birth. Not that it has learned it by training or by practice or by something. Like human beings can also swim, but they learn it. But the fish does not learn. That is its Atpattika guna. So that's what the word Atpattika means. But it's misleading in a way. You would think that it's some kind of temporary quality.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Can you give the mic back?
As the commentator here is characterizing the mentality of the Brajabasis and describing that in their mentality they see the Paramatma as this ultimate object of prema, more so than the body or wealth or family members or whatever. So I guess my question is basically a curiosity. in the human-like thinking of the Brajabasis, do they perceive the Paramatma as the supreme entity and Narayan as an avatar of that Paramatma?
No, Narayan is who is Paramatma. Narayan is above.
They have that sense. So in that case, why does their thinking about the Parama Premaspada stop with the Paramatma?
Did he say Param Premaspad? I don't think so.
Said Atyantik.
In this commentaries, Vishwanath Chakravarti?
Yeah. Yatotarutik prema aspada pyopi api atyantik premaspadam paramatma eva ayam.
Buddhyate. Okay. Yeah, that is Paramatma is used here in the sense, if you go back to that Brahma Mohan Leela.
Okay.
So there it was described, and it came recently also, that first the object of love is body. And this is our own experience, that we love our body, and for the sake of body we can do so many things, which people are doing, dharmic, adharmic, all types of things. But then if you properly think, it is really not for the sake of body, but for the sake of Atma. So, why? Because if some part of the body becomes poisonous, then you can remove it and protect the remaining. You can cut your leg, your hand, etc. So that means it is not actually the body, but something beyond. So that is the Atma. And also when Atma is not there in the body, we don't love it. So that means the love is not for the body, although it looks like that out of ignorance, avidya, we seem to love the bodies, our own body, others' bodies, etc. But actually, if we think more deeply, then we understand that actually the love is for the Atma only and not for the body. So that is the second step. And then the third is that it is not for Atma also, but for Paramatma. Because Atma is not independent of Paramatma. And Paramatma is the Atma of Atma. Krishna menam avehitvam atmanam akhilatmanam. So jagadhitaya sopi atra dehi vabhati maya. So then if he is the Atma of the Atma, then he becomes the Param Premaspada by that logic. So that's what he is saying. But because we do not know that, then that Paramatma remains udasin. That's what he says later on. Tasya atma ramatvena sarvodasinya asmasu sansarikesu atpatika shaktirna ghatte. You have something to say?
Well, I guess I was wondering about in the Brajabasi's viewpoint, their distinction or lack of distinction in view about what we call Bhagavan and Paramatma, or Narayan and Paramatma.
Well, Brajvasis are just like normal people.
Right.
So what they think is that Narayan is Bhagavan. They are not doing this kind of analysis what he is doing. Their thinking is that Narayan is Bhagavan. And they worship Narayan. And that's why earlier they were thinking that what Krishna is doing, all these things, it is by the grace of Narayana. And Gargacharya therefore also said Narayana Samai Guna. It has qualities like Narayana. Then Paramatma, etc., they think, okay, Narayana is also inside as Paramatma. It's just a general understanding, common Indian, that's how they have, also have.
I see. So then it would be fair to conclude that in this context, the reference to the Paramatma is essentially synonymous with their idea of Narayan. So
When they say Param Premaspada.
yeah.
Yeah. Willie, you had something? Any other question? So this is also interesting to know that Brajvasis generally they think of themselves just like ordinary people living on earth, especially here in Braj, like people are living. Like that they also think in that way. In this Prakata-līlā, they don't think of themselves like we are from some Golok Vrindavan or etc. They don't have any ideas like that. Otherwise it will become again Aishwarya. So this is the meaning of Madhurya. Madhurya is not always just Madhurya Bhav, but Madhurya here means like human being. So they also consider themselves as human beings and they consider Krishna also as a human being. And this is what Bhāgavatam is trying to also sell us, that Krishna is a human being. This is what Vyasadeva is trying to sell. He's making a big effort, but he is being very cautious about it. Why cautious? Because then again tendency is to think of him as just a human being. So when you have attained the level of prema as Brajvasis have, and then you think of him as just a human being, there is no problem. That is all right. But when we are in our conditioned state and we think of him just as human being, then we can get into a lot of trouble. Which also happens. Because then you will see his activities and his activities with gopis. So then what you will think? Oh, he is doing the same thing which we do. So this is Vyasa's big problem. It is easy to preach about God, pure God, Ishvara. Means he is Ishvara, he is not a human being, he has got all these powers, therefore he has got 4 hands. And it is easy to understand that. But to make us understand that God is God and also he is a human being, because you cannot love God. People talk about love of God. It's not possible. This is what people would not like to hear. Especially this Christianity where they talk about God is love, love is God. But according to our understanding, you cannot love God. You can serve God, you can worship God, but you cannot love Him. If you want to love, He has to be brought to human level. Because you can only love somebody who is at your level. If somebody is above you, you will only have respect for him. You can call it love, but it's not love. So in love there is kavalya. Kavalya ek prayojanam, then you will understand what Bhāgavatam is saying. So then he has to be like us. Otherwise you can worship, you can praise, you can recite stotras, this, that. You can do all that. So this is what other Vaishnavas do not understand. We had so many arguments and that. I don't want to get into those arguments. But they cannot, I understand, they talk about Narayana, Narayana, and what is the difference? You God, you are just speaking like this and that. No, it is impossible for them to understand this. And we also have Parkiya. We also, somebody wrote refuting everything about Gaudiya Vaishnavism. He says, you are saying Bhāgavatam is supreme Praman. He says, to say that is Avedika. Just like that, it is Avedika. And you are saying that Bhakti is Parkiya. We also say, our Alvars have saying that. Now you are saying it. First of all, you didn't even know. You will not even have one word of the word Parkiya in your whole literature. But they are so much, they want to trash us. And Krishna is Swam Bhagavan. He says, that's really not true. He is Narayan. Narayan is... Because for them the whole idea of Bhagavan is superhuman. And then Prema is the fifth Priyojana. Yeah, we accept that. No, you don't even understand. It is the question of accepting it. Prema is possible only when somebody is human being. If you make him anything more than human being, even Indra, this, that, then there is no prema. That's what he is trying to say. That's why he is bringing this whole chapter is brought in for this purpose only. To show this, that these people, they saw all this, and still he says, Atpattika katham, nandahate tanye asmashu, tasya atpattika katham. How is this possible? So this is the point which is very difficult to understand. And when you will understand, then you can start thinking what actually is this love, Preeti, which Mahaprabhu spoke, the Goswami spoke. It is not that what others are talking. It is not at all. No matter how much you sing songs about it, etc., etc. But the human mind will get corrupt again in another direction, if you simply say that much. So it's a very touchy issue. Very touchy issue. Yes.
So I just had one small little doubt in my mind coming in the sense that I've been reading Bhāgavatam. So in between, there are superhuman activities of Krishna, and then there are slokas by Brajvasis, and now also they are speaking that he is superhuman. So how do they readjust again to that same feelings with him, and how does it get readjusted?
You are not understanding this sloka which I am trying to explain. If you understand this sloka, then you will not ask this question. They are saying we have Atpattika raga in him. What do they mean? I am explaining the word Atpattika. He said Dustyajascha Anurago. What is the meaning of word Dustyaja? It's impossible to give it up. They naturally have it, so where is the question of how they adjust? There is no question of adjusting, that's how they are. Try to understand this sloka. It's very important. He says, Dustyajaschan rago asmin sarvesham no vrajaukasham. This is what Vraj Bhakti is. All Vrajvasis, not human beings, birds, even plants, trees. They naturally are like that. They don't think of Krishna as Bhagwan, no matter what he does. They are naturally like that. You cannot change them. Just like somebody is Prime Minister of India and his mother is not going to think that he is not my son. No matter what happens, he can do anything. He is still my son. It's Atpattika. When Modi goes to see his mother, the mother is treating him just like Modi. Modi. Apna, not even Modi. Narendra, whatever he may be calling him is Naru or as a child. Must have whatever is the home name he had. So for her it is, he will be remain that child only. That is the Atpattika. This is what Atpattika means. This is Dustyaja, it cannot be given up. Here in the material world still some reverence can come, even she may think, oh, he is big now, he is grown up and this and that. Krishna is not grown up, he does not become like that, he doesn't get beard and this and that, he remains like a child only to them, in appearance also. At least here the person grows and still that bhav changes. It's not given up, but some change happens. But there it doesn't happen like that. This is what is this. This is the crucial sloka here. This sloka number 13. Try to understand this. Distyajaschya anurago asmin sarvesham no brajoksham. Sarvesham brajoksham. All Brajvasis. They see Krishna as a human child only. As Nanda Maharaj's child and one of there, and everybody loves him. It's very difficult to understand. So they know that he is son of Nanda Maharaj. Nanda te tanaya. It's used, he says he is son of Nanda Maharaj. And Krishna is also having the same love for them. Krishna is not saying, I am God and you are inferior to me. Because if he is God, then he has to see them as lower than him. No, he sees them just like... If you have lived in village, then it is easy to understand. If you have lived in Indian village society, especially for 50, 60 years ago, because now villages also have changed because of all this technology. In a village life where there was no technology, people lived like this. They had feelings like this only. Everything was just very together. It was just like one big family. That's why I was speaking yesterday about this Varna system and then this Jati. The whole community lived just like that. Okay.
Babaji?
Yeah.
And I was wondering now if, despite their swabhava actually having this full prema towards Krishna, so they also worship Narayana. Did they have like a daily sadhana, something like that, worshiping Narayana, like as a deity?
There is no daily sadhana or anything like that.
Okay, because you said they saw themselves as normal people. I know that they don't need sadhana, I understand that, but I thought, I was wondering how did the worship look like?
Just normal, offer food and some special occasions to puja, whatever.
Okay.
In the olden system in India, this what you see now, this deity worship is very prominent. Originally it was not like that. Original Varnashram was that you do Agnihotra, chant Gayatri Mantra, that was the standard thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, well, I have a question. It's just I need to clarify something because in the recently conversation about his form as human being, some doubts are rising. So I need you to help me for going like step by step. So the first question is, I hear several times people who say, why you put a human form to God for look at him. So from my perspective of what I have learned is that it's not that we put to him a human form, but it's like his original form, and he gave us the opportunity, temporal opportunity, to have this form for understanding him, like as purpose of this human life, for understand him as in his original form, and also in the way that he shared relationships in his abode. Is it like that? Or is that he became a human being because he is a Achyuta, he don't fell from his position. It's more like we being uplift by him in Swarup form or whatever, for share with him at the same level, as I understand, but I'm not sure if this is right because this doubt arises.
So what otherwise what it will be? What is the doubt?
The doubt is because I hear from you to say that he come to the level of human being, and
when did I say that?
Huh?
When did I say that?
When you was explaining to Maharaj about the love only can be shared by people of the same level.
Yeah, but I did not say that he come down.
Yeah, exactly. That's that is the moment that I missed or get wrong. It's like we being uplift by him.
Uplift?
Yeah, like he don't turn down, but we go up for sharing with him at the same level.
Yeah, okay. I don't understand what you're trying to say.
Yeah, it's just I think I get the idea of that Krishna comes to the human level.
When did I say that? I'm saying he's a human being.
Yeah, that's the point that confused me, because his human being is like the original form of him, and it's not like he's like us, but us are like made temporarily, and of course conserving the relationship, but he gave us his form.
Okay.
Is it clear? I'm not sure if it's clear, but it's just like I think I understand that he goes down, but in my mind it is not like that. We go up, uplift this material nature to a spiritual nature, but as human being is his original form.
You think Krishna is eternal, or you think he's a temporary person?
No, it's eternal, of course.
He's eternal.
Yes.
And if he is human being now, he's eternally human being.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you mean he came down? From where he came down? This, that?
Yeah, this is just I think I wanted to confirm if I get.
What is
right.
therein to confirm?
Yeah.
Confirm means if something else is possible. I mean, this is a basic thing we have been talking so much. He's an eternal person. How many times it has been coming in the prayers?
Yeah, so now the thing is like his pastimes and all his leelas, which seems like human, is just in another level that we are trying to understand, for then we can uplift ourselves to that level when all of these things happen in a pure form and not as it happened here.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, thanks. It's just
it's not a Rāsa-līlā, human-like, but it's not human.
Yeah.
And it's not human like us. It's human-like.
like him, yeah.
It's human-like.
It's human like.
It's not human like us.
Yes.
Very simple, actually.
Yes.
Okay, anything else? All right.